League sponsor.
What a start! This will be something! It is! Miracles do happen. The GWS have beaten the Sydney Swans for the first time ever.
This weekend, for the first time ever in a single round of football, Gold Coast and GWS have won.
This season was always going to throw up the unexpected, but after just one round, it has come sooner than most had predicted. Hello and welcome to Toyota AFL highlights for round 2. Footy was welcomed back with open arms, and fans got more than they bargained for, with the AFL's newest franchises upstaging more fancied opposition to send a message of intent to the rest of the competition. Last year's premiers proved they'd be again the ones to beat, while the Bombers put off-field distractions aside to cause all sorts of problems for North Melbourne. Despite 22 rounds remaining, the prolonged analysis as a result of the split round to open the season has already seen heavy criticism levelled at teams, players and coaches. And with the dust barely settling, the build-up to round 2 has been anything but low-key. 3 famous footballing rivalries are a feature, 2 built on a century of passion, and another all about bragging rights in the city of churches. But before we get to all the action, here's a look at the best marks and goals of round 1.
Watson gets the bell. Oh, and White takes a screamer.
Shaw, a couple of dance steps to Reid, run into the pocket. Great mark, Lord.
There's been a revelation in this second term. A long kick forward. Westhoff shoots. Gets the tap. McIntosh over the top of the ball. Enright pushing and shoving in there. Eddie Betts has been so busy. Almost got one in the back. Didn't get the free kick. Umpire said play on. Dangerfield now. Just runs hard at the ball from the boundary line. You are a star.
It's a little awkward, but he's such a fine player. Sandlands, this is where he could be really dangerous. Valentine, miracle shot around goal. What a goal that was.
Concern for Richmond, they're high handballs, 7 kicks, 23 handballs, and you eventually turn it over playing that one.
Oh, Mira, how clean was that? Magnificent. Can he finish for 4 straight goals for the Gold Coast? These young men are on fire.
It was unbelievable. It's one of those ones that when you're running, you can sort of hear the crowd going in and out. You know, you're trying to keep everything together, and you realise that finals football's here, and it's obviously pretty exciting.
I've never heard a crowd so loud in my life.
The loudest thing I've ever experienced, and it just sent shivers down your spine.
Just brought goosebumps.
Obviously, there was a massive amount of expectation based around the fact that we hadn't played in a final for over a decade, and it was exciting.
Martin charges out of the middle to Cochin. Cochin steps. Oh, that's a beauty.
Footy's just all about momentum swings, and we could certainly feel, I could certainly feel the momentum swinging back Carlton's way. They kicked a few goals.
And then it was panic that you try and suppress as much as possible in the high-pressure game that is AFL.
I just think we just wanted it more in the end. I think that last half we just really dug deep, and obviously Juddy led us like he does so many times.
Look away, hand pass to Judd. This would be fitting. This would be fitting.
It's just Juddy, we rely on him a fair bit, and he always comes up with the goods.
To see him walk into an open goal and kick it was almost the knife that ended the day for a lot of our players.
Yeah, it was disappointing. It was a really, really tough loss.
Yes!
Just disbelief.
And to play so well in a first half and then let a team get a hold of the momentum and not be able to stop that was really disappointing.
There's only one siren that really matters, the final siren. You either won or you lost or you draw.
We failed on the biggest stage, and that's something that'll spur us on to hopefully bigger things this year.
After last season's heartbreaking loss in the elimination final, Richmond gets its chance for revenge against the Blues. The Tigers come in after a loss to Gold Coast in the opening round, and with aspirations of playing finals football this season, don't want to start falling too far behind the pack. Jake King was recalled to add some grunt to the Tigers' forward line. Dylan Grimes replaces an injured Alex Rance. Carlton was overrun in its season opener against Port Adelaide, and coach Mick Malthouse will be looking for a more committed effort against the Tigers. The Blues have their injury concerns, but there'll be no excuses here against a side they have dominated in recent history. Andrew Walker and Matthew Cruiser were big outs for the Blues, who made 4 forced changes. Buckley, Lucas, Rowe and White all came into the side.
Grigg, little handball out the side to Alice, and he had the acid put on him during the week. That kick not quite to Rewalt. Gee, gloved it beautifully on the half volley. A little look away from Jake King. Now Alice gets it to the teeth of goal for Vickery, and it floats through. Brandon Alice. Gee, that's a good kick from Martin. He made Hampson run into that space then with the angle of the kick. That's not so good. Warnock against his old sparring partner. Waite keeps the arms free. Had no one to give it to. Dustin Martin just brushes them off, as only Dustin Martin can. And to make it 3 in a row for the Tigers, they're on fire. Richmond by 24. Look at the little man in the ruck in Rowe. As the second ruckman, of course. Cruiser out of the selected side tonight. So Warnock the only real ruckman for the Blues. Morris. Simpson gets onto it, runs onto his left. Really good user, sees Bell. Marked on the line. And possibly within range. No one on the mark, so he was able to gain an extra few. And there's the Blues' first responding goal. Sometimes too smart for their own good. Too creative for their own good, perhaps. Griffiths. Simpson to tidy up. Can go all the way, Simpson. No one in the goal square. A good bounce will see it through. Boy, did they need that with 50 seconds on the clock. Griffiths doing the ruck work with Warnock. Newman again to Alice. Alice right into the intersection of the 50 in the boundary line. And this would be an incredible goal. Right on the angle.
Most coaches would be happy to go at about that 65% mark. 70% would be a really good game and a really high-quality kicking game. 77's huge.
Richmond. Straight away.
Play on. Gives it off. Peddard again, top of the square. They keep presenting opportunities. Rewalt from the side.
Well, that is something that everyone loves to see. It's what has enabled him to be a 2-time Coleman medal winner.
For a game-high margin of 37 points, Rewalt converts.
Desperate for a goal here from this stoppage, the Blues.
They bang the 2 ruckmen. Conker. Martin with half a fresh airy. Now McLean. Robinson quick. Murphy from the boundary line. Needs to centre it to the top. He did that beautifully. Rowe down to Yaron. How easy is that? The Blues get their second of the quarter. Lurking, I would say. There he is out here. Okay, so he's found some pace, Richo, and some space. Yaron looking to spot up their Bell. Over the back it comes to Waite. He missed it. Doesn't matter. I think that was Garland around the corner with a magnificent kick at goal. Carlton back again.
There'll be some players out there who will have the ghost of the elimination final firm in their mind for Richmond. They'll be thinking, not again. Surely we're not going to get overrun from an impossible position again. And that starts to play on your mind. You start to doubt yourself and your ability.
Dylan Buckley to Robinson. Robinson long to Waite. Off hands. Here's Jeffy. Jeffy runs into an open goal and stumps the post. Kick inside looking for Basher. It always gave Menzel a chance, didn't it? To pick the ball cleanly up in the middle. Turns around. Carlton have found space. Jeffy over the top. Here's Gibbs. Couldn't get there on the full. What does he do now? Along the ground. Along the ground.
Oh, there's the moment.
Yes. Go along the ground anytime you want. Now within a goal and a bit, 7 points. Buckley has been really, really impressive tonight. inside 50, yet again. Beautiful tap down from Waite. Little left foot of Menzel. They're within a point. Carlton are within a point. Morris threads the needle magnificently. And Pettard. 3.5 minutes.
Richmond are just relying on someone taking a massive mark here to try and kick a goal.
They've wasted a good 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes here. Rewald's got the free here. Advantage paid. Edwards has messed it up. Oh, no. Oh. Vickery not paid the mark. The little bit of goal. Richmond have somehow found a way through. They lead it by 8. There's another hit out to advantage for Warnock. Didn't quite work for Thomas. A mark can do it here for the Blues. Griffiths has marked for the Tigers with 30 seconds remaining. Deep in defence. Goes down the line. Rowe tries to punch it back. It's out over the back. Here's Thomas. Just got to advance it forward. He does. 15 seconds remaining. An opportunity for the Tigers. Martin turns Tui around and goals. Richmond are home by 2.
The Tigers held off a fast-finishing Carlton and defied recent history to win a thrilling clash by 12 points. Captain Trent Cotchin lifted when his team needed him, while midfielders Dustin Martin and Brandon Ellis also played key roles to keep the Blues at bay.
Yeah, we knew that if we got off to a good start, it's happened in previous years where they get a little run on and it's hard to stem their flow, but credit to the boys. Whilst they still came back at us, we worked really hard and got the result, which is the most important thing.
Coming up, Essendon will be put to the test when it meets reigning premiers Hawthorn. Essendon was superb in its opening round demolition of North Melbourne. Pre-season discussion about where the Bombers would find their goals was quickly dispelled as Paul Chapman and youngster Joe Danaher helped dismantle the ruse. A win over the reigning premiers would give them the perfect start. The Bombers making no changes to the side that was so emphatic last round. Hawthorn was pushed in the opening 3 quarters of its round 1 clash against Brisbane, but found another gear when it counted. The Hawks have a good recent record against the Bombers, but will be tested at Etihad Stadium. The Hawks recalled Cyril Rioli, while former captain Sam Mitchell was a late withdrawal.
McAvoy, third man up, Langford beat his teammate. Shields around the corner. Plenty of Hawks around this football. Burgoyne, Hill, sprints away, lines up at goal. And I think he's got it. He has.
And then loads it up, Hodge to full forward. Gunston and Fletcher. Gunston couldn't quite get a run at it. Bagley took them on. Ruffy, is it? It is. It's a goal.
Shields comes at him on the mark. High ball down towards half forward. Taylor made for Ambrose. Up he went and he missed it. Chapman out of mid-air and got it for Torp down towards the pocket. And Hardingham goes back and takes the mark. This is an important kick. Hardingham puts it through. He gets his second and Essendon's second. Ball up on the outer side. Zaharakis getting busy in the last couple of minutes. He's up to 7 possessions halfway through this term. That's in the quarter. Suckling's away. Here's danger. He, like Myers, is a very long left foot kick. He lines up goal. He sends it goalward and he bounces it through. Shields. McAvoy having a wonderful game now. He's up to 9 possessions, almost Dean Cox-like as Burgoyne puts it inside the forward 50. Knocked forward, off the back, Puopolo, off balance, look out, Suckling. He'll kill you.
Well played, Watson. Gets it back to Howland. Essendon inspired. Handball, Stanton, Chapman. Does he get a bounce? It sits up for Uncle Paulie. Twists and turns. Kicks to centre half forward. Big fly, not taken by Zaharakis. Merritt, Ambrose, goes for goal and gets 2. 2 in a minute. The first 2 he's ever kicked.
Gibson in front. Zaharakis got him where he needed him. Leads back in the race. Gibson pushes him aside. Finds the footy on the numbers. Hand passes to Smith. Knew where the help was. Goes back to Gibson. He was tackled there by Merritt, and the mark is taken by Heppel. No one back for Essendon. Tracking it back is Burgoyne. Bombers needed to go out. Burgoyne turns. Jackson Merritt was bearing down. Here's a chance for Goddard. Sweeping hand pass. Chapman, the two new arrivals. He hooks it only as far as Stanton. But gee, that's good enough. Stanton kicks the goal. 2 points the difference. There's Chapman, meantime, going down towards half forward. Danaher getting some separation. That's been scarce tonight, getting away from Gibson. He's come off the line, told to play on, sends it long down towards full forward. Goddard came at that one, stayed off the contest. Jackson Merritt in front of the pack, kicks a goal. Here's Hill, goes to the outer side. Shields is favoured by the kick. Hildy got a hand to it. Shields soccers it forward. Still he goes, Shields. Soccers it down towards the attacking 50. Nice pick up O'Brien. Back to Bruce. Hooks it around the corner. Puopolo can't find it. They can't find him. He hooks it back across his body. Oh, what a wonderful kick.
Fletcher. Good kick that one. Howlett. So Merritt took the advantage. Hardingham and Cheney. Hardingham went underneath the ball. Cheney went with him. Hardingham, good pick up. Can he get back to his feet? He's a bit untidy there. Well played by Ambrose. Good pick up. Goal, is it? Oh, is it what? He's got a hat-trick.
Didn't move him. Hooked down behind by Danaher. Burgoyne has been good. Hacks it down towards the forward pocket. Puopolo in front of Hibbert. Still Puopolo trying to turn his man. In trouble, Gleeson. Puopolo finds the footballer. That was brilliant. Burgoyne running out of space. Shrugs off Myers. He's very deep in the pocket. Pulls it back. Wonderful. Simpkin
way through.
Jonathan Simpkin should kick it. Goal umpire goes a fair way, but it's good. Simpkin does kick it.
What a game we're seeing. Hocking. Hooker.
Best 380th game we've ever seen, I think.
Sweeps it. Stanton off a step. Where's Chapman? Almost there. Zaharakis at the back. Cheney. Well, Chappie's a good man to have it. He's a really good man to have it.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh.
Hale in front, Carlisle trying to blunt his effect. Darting through was Smith, going again. His sock is deep inside the 50. Bruce was in front. Was he pushed in the back? Hill, Rioli scoots away and kicks the goal. Oh, he accelerated to Rioli. A simple thing, but it means so much. Hawthorn in a classic win at Etihad Stadium. What a remarkable game.
The Hawks withstood a valiant second-half comeback by Essendon, somehow getting over the line by 4 points. Sean Burgoyne was outstanding for the Hawks with a game-high 30 disposals, while Josh Gibson was rock solid in defence, keeping Joe Danaher goalless.
Man, their energy, the way they move the ball, look, they're a really good side. We were very, very lucky to get away with it, but I guess late in the game, a couple of boys did some good things. We kicked a couple of crucial goals late, and I think it's one of those ones that you mark down and take the point and probably look at and find out what we can do better next week.
Greater Western Sydney's round one triumph over Sydney caused shockwaves through the football world. Ex-Swan Shane Mumford showing why the Giants recruited him with a commanding performance, while Callan Ward, Stephen Cornelio and Jeremy Cameron were also impressive. The Giants made 3 changes, bringing in Jacob Townsend, Lockie Plowman and number 2 draft pick Josh Kelly. St Kilda, still in the early stages of a long-term rebuild, was impressive in a first-up win over Melbourne. Despite missing some experienced players, their 3 debutants gave fans glimpses of a bright future, including Luke Dunstan, who took out the Rising Star nomination for round 1. The Saints got back some experience for the clash, with Lenny Hayes and Lee Montagna overcoming injuries that kept them from the opening round.
Templeton at half forward, couldn't take it, but they've got some good numbers. Saunders to ground, but he's up again quickly. Feeding Revolt, shakes off the tackle from Cornelio. Good support from Hampton, back again to Revolt. They're flipping it around, Templeton Prominent so far, so too Farron Ray. Off the left boot, heaves it up into the 50. Raised it over the top, Armitage. Cracking day for footy here at Etihad Stadium. The sort of day you might fancy yourself to jump up and take a big hanger, which Armitage did. A mark like that deserves a goal, and he's found an interesting path to get there, but it's through, and that's all that matters. Curran and Ray again, pressure building though. Cornelio has to release quickly or else shake off the tackle. He chose the ladder, you can see it's going to drop out the back. Patton was onto it, so was Smith. He turned them inside out, Devon Smith. 3 shots at goal for 2 goals, 1. Now Hickey striding out of the middle, set it up for Curran to try and advance further. Back for Dunstan off the left. Jones has really worked his guts out to get there and gives him a bit of treatment, Heath Shaw, but not enough to be the cause of a 50.
Well, he's done this so well, Tom Hickey.
Making himself dangerous this afternoon, Hickey. Very dangerous. Oh, what about that for a kick? Now, Tom Scully can pump it long. Giles went to grab before it got there. 5 blokes almost marked it, but nobody did. Armitage, Townsend, got it off the ground. Beaks out the back, Gwilt could feel, he could sense Mumford was coming. Oh, but Mumford misses with the handball. And Wright could go anywhere. Templeton takes the mark, locks flowing, charges through centre half forward. Adrenaline pumping the young man, and the Saints are right back in it again. Out to half back. Oh, Treloar buffeted out of the road. Saints, plenty of venom about the way they're going about it at the moment. Dunstan, top of the square. Revolt, they've got the numbers, the Saints. Oh, Revolt's got the footy. Not sure why he played on. Doesn't matter. Ward, just handball to the voice, but it's all St Kilda. Stanley, along the line to Revolt and Haynes again. He got him into just the right spot. Well done for Haynes to keep fighting. Templeton, he's got Haynes' measure to the square. Young Dunstan, the youth of St Kilda on display. St Kilda lead by 16 points, 6 in a row. Addison just didn't quite have enough metres. Oh, look at Kelly. Just flashing through, driving to Giles. Gwilt did enough. Oh, Giles got it back.
A banana.
And look at that, it's deadly. Just what they needed, just the tonic. To Revolt, and he's got Jones running for him. They'll come from the other angle.
Oh, massive
Jones,
contest.
last man standing, Clint Jones.
Oh, no,
kick, fantastic kick. Shocking, but brilliant.
He shanked it and it went to a teammate.
Still 4 minutes to go, but what a critical kick, and he knows it, and he nails it. Oh, the Saints take the advantage.
Nick Revolt continued his fine form, leading St Kilda to a 7-point win and a 2-0 start to the season. Ruckman Tom Hickey produced his best performance for the Saints, while veteran midfielder Lenny Hayes proved he still has plenty to offer. Coming up, a new dawn in Adelaide as the Power and the Crows go to battle at the Adelaide Oval.
It's certainly more than just another game.
Doesn't get any bigger than this.
It certainly is like a finals atmosphere.
They're on the march back big time.
That's our bitter rival.
That is massive.
It's an electric atmosphere.
Haven't seen anything like that.
The crowd on their feet already.
Feisty during the game.
You know there's a bit more riding on that result.
He's got it. Hands it up the boat. The captain sees Westhoff. He's in the square. It doesn't need him.
The #1 team in town if you win the game.
And he does his job there.
Can he snap it back again? Oh, how about that?
First showdown this year here at Adelaide Oval. It's going to be amazing for our fans to watch the two teams go at it.
It's thrown off the line. Bang! And that's how big it is. He knows it.
It does take a long time to heal that pain.
Douglas in the pocket, rolls it towards goal. That is top shelf.
What a champion he is. He's 19 years of age.
The Crows are in front. And the game lifts another gear. That's an all-time classic.
Monfries has kicked a goal. Unbelievable.
The Adelaide Showdown is always a special event, but Round 2 2014 holds special significance, with the city's two sides meeting at a refurbished Adelaide Oval for the first time. It's a game that brings the city to a standstill, and on a perfect day, the fans flocked. The Crows took it up to Geelong in the opening round before being overrun in the final term. They come into the showdown as underdogs, but as is often the case in these clashes, form counts for very little. They dearly love to open their account against Port. Some class returned to the Crows lineup with Richard Douglas and Brent Riley coming into the side for their first games of the year. The Power has the third youngest list in the competition, but their inexperience isn't showing, proving they're capable of defeating anyone on their day. Port was too good for Carlton in the opening round, but victory would be far sweeter here with a win over their arch-rival. Alapati Carlisle returned to bolster the backline. Making way was youngster Tom Cleary.
And Eben is away. He can sight the big sticks from there. Goes to the square, West off, turns Talia around. Again, one-handed. Can't mark it again. Jacobs lent a hand.
Just a long bomb. It's the pressure.
Harlett couldn't mark it. Knocks it to ground. Through the legs of Robbie Gray. Slips the attempted tackle. Back to Harlett. Back to Gray. 45 out. Nails it.
Go for a torp in front of 53,000.
There it is, down the middle. Jacobs has disappeared. He's gone forward.
Good effort from both Johnston and Lobey. The step nice from McKay. They need a nerve settler here, Adelaide. Hands it back to Johnston. They're dead eye from outside 50 for the Crows. First goal at the new Adelaide Oval. Corns, no one to go too long. He knows that. Doesn't want to turn it over. There's the 1-2 by hand. Cassisi, West off. Now Butcher presents. Back to West off. Runs inside 50. He can keep it low. No one in the square. That's a big-time goal. Plays on quickly. Schultz over the top to Butcher. It's got Broadbent running for him. He puts it longer into the space. Wingard, Brown, Wingard with the tap. Still Wingard. Past Broadbent. Yench, Wingard dives in. Oh, he made it his. He just wanted it more. And both goals. Dangerous. Good mark, though, in the clinches. He plays onto advantage and bangs it long. Eddie Betts in a one-on-one. Big leap. Jonas front spot. Eddie the crumb. Dances around a couple. Hits the square. Bounces it home. Eddie's got 3 for the quarter. And we're underway. Jacobs and Lobey. Jacobs scrambles a kick to half forward. Podsiadly, who's worked hard without a huge possession count. Sloan gets it up. Douglas from the paint. It's bending. It's there.
Well, it's funny, Port Adelaide, as much as they've been dominant in last quarters, and we've seen that stat in many places, their third quarters have been just about the worst in the competition.
Dangerfield. He could be the man. He hands it up instead to Smith. Long, goal square. Eddie! For the first time today, the Adelaide Crows lead. And this is a huge moment to steady the ship across the face. Wingard plays on goals. Back to McKay, but he bounced it past him. Hartlett knocks it out. Cassisi back to Hartlett. Didn't know it was coming back to him. Has the poise, though. Both threatening with every passing minute. Back to full forward. Off hands. Brown needed to trap it. Couldn't quite. Hassled out of it. Port Adelaide getting numbers. Wingard. No way. Staggering. Polek off hands. We're down to 14 seconds. Still time. But he needs a target inside 50. Somewhere, somehow, someone. Schultz could be the man. Backtracks. Got it. Reputations are won and lost on days like these. Both these teams know it. There's 1 quarter left. Broadbent gets back and lends a hand in defence. Nice little flick kick to Corns. And he pumps it. Butcher and Schultz with the big leap. Went up hard. Still Butcher. Flicks it out. Hartlett to roll it through. Instant reply. 3-time showdown medalist Mark Rasciuto with us this afternoon, and it's been hard for him to watch.
This bloke is unbelievable, Ebert, how hard he works, and he's got a good partner.
Ollie Wines!
Port Adelaide flattened arch-rival Adelaide by 54 points to triumph in the first AFL match at the redeveloped Adelaide Oval. Inspired by midfielders Hamish Hartlett and Brad Ebert, up forward it was Jay Schulz and Chad Wingard who proved unstoppable.
Whether we've won or not, there's a key ingredient for us, and that's effort, and you've got to bring that every game. And if we do that, we give ourselves a chance, and our effort was there right through the game, and there was that little momentum swing after half-time where they got a little bit of the ball on us, but then I thought some really strong leadership stood up second half of the third quarter and got us going again.
A 55-point loss is unacceptable in a showdown, and especially, like I said, when you hit the front in the game and then lose by 55, we've got to ask ourselves some serious questions.
Coming up, a winless Sydney and Collingwood look to open their 2014 accounts. Fremantle was white hot on the opening night of the season, dismantling a hapless Collingwood to prove they'd be right in the mix to challenge for the flag again. The form of big man Aaron Sandilands particularly pleasing to the Dockers faithful. Nick Subin returned for the Dockers after missing the opening round with suspension arising from the grand final. He replaced Lachie Neale. Gold Coast is yet to beat Fremantle in its short history, but travelled west full of confidence after an impressive first-up win over Richmond. Gary Ablett was again superb, but it was the form of the Suns' impressive young running brigade that had the fans buzzing. Defender Rory Thompson returned for the clash against Fremantle, while Cade Kolajasny made his AFL debut for the Suns.
This is perfect, Matty, for a start. They obviously locked the ball in. Weather conditions are going to permit that, but the way they got back and covered that exit, they knew Fremantle coming down the line. Really good start from Gold Coast.
Just while you're there, Ben, any particular end where that wind is blowing?
Nah, the rain, there's a bit of Forrest Gump about it, Matty. It's coming in sideways, straight down, and even straight up, so no wind to think of at this moment.
Sam Day just sliding in for that mark. This should be the first score of the afternoon. 30 metres out, almost directly in front. Not his best kick, but good enough, and they get the first goal, Gold Coast. Sees a man out wide. Hall through his hands. Barlow. Zungu touched off the boot. Harbrow runs it, misses it. Ballantyne wants the free, didn't get it. Hands it off to Main. He's got a man out wide within scoring range. Johnson from 45 metres for the Dockers. Big Michael Johnson goes bang.
I think Kenneth might try and come away from goal, you would think. There's a lot of numbers.
Pearce on his own here.
Oh, there it is there, right there.
Ablett to try and clear. It's a race between Shaw and Mzungu. Mzungu's so clever, used his body, collects it and kicks it, a magnificent goal. Dockers, hard to chase down. Last year led at half-time.
Oh, great tap.
16 games they led at half-time. They won 15 of them, the Dockers. Hard team to chase down, and they've won the first clearance, and Pavlich goes back to Fife, in turn Main. Steps inboard and back to Crowley with a little bit of time, and with the spiral talk
Chest mark
towards Walters, and the chest mark does happen, and it happens right on the line. He's come off his line, now he goes for the outside of the boot, and he never put anything past Sonny Walters. There's a gem at things like that. Bangs it through. Swallow couldn't get it out, but somehow O'Meara did.
Well done.
And well done by Hall. You really need to hit this sweep. Runs out to the right.
That's not bad.
It's pretty good. It's perfect. He just sets it up high for Pavlich. Falls for Ballantyne. Gets past one. Gives it to Barlow. Round the corner. Here goes McKenzie. Can't get there in time. And Barlow kicks the goal. Costly error there. Off the ground went Ballantyne. Off the ground into the path of Hill.
Oh, well done.
Got him.
That has to be quite an opportunity. I think so. I think he took 3 steps before he could get a handball away.
Pearce from 50. He likes that situation. And he kicks a goal.
A dominant ruck display by Aaron Sandilands led Fremantle to a comfortable 48-point victory. Sandilands' ruck dominance included a career-high 58 hit-outs, with Michael Barlow, Nat Fyfe, David Mundy and Stephen Hill the major beneficiaries. Collingwood opened its 2014 campaign with a heavy defeat to Fremantle. The Pies travelled to Sydney knowing they've prevailed in 9 of the 12 clashes against the Swans here at ANZ Stadium, including a victory in round 20 last season. Jesse White played his first AFL game for the Magpies against his former side, while Jared Blair and Sam Dwyer were the other inclusions. Sydney was overrun by crosstown rival GWS in the biggest shock of round one. The Swans have been under the spotlight all week, but this outfit has proved time and time again how dangerous it can be with its back against the wall. Captain Kieran Jack's inclusion was huge for the Swans, who also handed former Richmond big man Tom Derricks a Guernsey for the clash.
There is Hanbury, now McGlynn. They're all there. All of the guns. Mitchell's kick not so good.
That is great pressure from Collingwood. BT, you mentioned their record up here. It's sensational. And they do this really well against Sydney. They take them on at their own game.
They do. Long ball. Meeting the sandwich was Cloak again. Little kick out of the pack, Elliott. Saw McVeigh, so they work their way out of defence nicely. It's been through Jetta's hands just about every time it's come out. Cunningham, look at them run forward now. Real hard runners, Sydney. We know that. Rampy takes them on, steps on the gas, gets to his left side. Good kick. That's Sydney at their best.
The good thing in that mark from Sam Reid, he's got terrific reach, always been a good contested mark. But Ryan O'Keefe, he knew he wasn't going to get hit up on the lead then.
Malcheski breaks through. What about that?
Just a bit frustrated there, Travis.
Richard down the line, Derrick's over the back, off hands, Hanbury, left foot, has it got the length? It's online, it's there. That is a really impressive goal. McVeigh with a hurried kick, Lumumba needs a clean bouncing ball, Buddy was all over in the moment he took possession, out the back, Maxwell, little sucker handball, give and go back from Pendlebury, not once but twice, zigzag, onto the right, wants the left, now he's got it, 30, 20, Pendlebury, closing goal.
Just relying on 2 or 3 key midfielders isn't going to get the job done. It's the Mitchells and those types of players for Sydney, the side bottoms for Collingwood. They're going to be the key to this one.
Handball too low for sure from Franklin. Now Rampy's got it all to do. Cloak running at him. Support arrives in the way of Swanee. Tries to back out with the footy side. Bottom's clever. Did well with the handball. It was firm, wasn't it, to Dwyer. Dwyer held his footing. Gives Goldsack a good look at the goal. And Collingwood are in front. Frost, the interceptor there, back in the middle. Collingwood in front by the 5-point margin here now. Elliott again turns around, fronts the goal. 45, drilling football. You talk about some individual brilliance. There it is. Off hands, magnificently done for Mitchell. Mitchell now long ball. Langdon used his body, but he didn't keep his feet. Bit of a no-look handball from the fast-moving Franklin. Now an opportunity here for Parker. Left foot up, probably within range, gives it off to Buddy. Buddy winds up from 55 out with a thumping kick. Dwyer was there, couldn't win the footy. Now Sydney do. Kennedy rams it long. There's what Darcy and Richo have been talking about. He plays it well, Maxwell. They're letting him play his favourite game. Jetta forces the mistake from Adams. Jetta with a right foot banana. Jetta. McVeigh to Shaw. Coughed it up. Side bottom. Tries to draw Swan to the footy. Eventually he comes. The run of side bottom out the back. Smith's just got hold of him. Forced the kick along the ground. It was crucial. Richards took his eye off the footy before he completely won it. Now it allows Beams on the left boot to snap it around the body. Collingwood by a goal. Langdon. Tuvey on his wrong right foot into Pendlebury. Here comes Grundy of Collingwood, knocked out of his hands by Malcheski. Pendlebury went and got it, thought about the quick hands. Here's the dangerous Elliott. He can turn on the footy bed. He turns, faces the goal again, Elliott. This to nearly seal the game. He's got it. It'll be the first time in a long time that they've started the season 0-2. Sydney.
Last time was in 2006. They made the grand final, Bristol.
Gee, Young celebrates, and that puts a definite full stop on it.
Collingwood opened its account with a 20-point victory and left one of the premiership fancies winless after 2 rounds. Skipper Scott Pendlebury was best afield with 33 disposals and ably assisted by the likes of Dane Beams and Haritie Lumumba. Coming up, Brisbane Lions look to get on board against an informed Geelong side. Brisbane started life under rookie coach Justin Leppich with a competitive loss against Hawthorn in round 1. After a major list overhaul during the off-season, some of the newer faces impressed, and the Lions take confidence knowing they defeated Geelong here last season. The Lions recalled Jordan Lyle and Rowan Buick for the clash. Tom Rockcliffe is out suspended, while Ryan Harwood missed through injury. Geelong started its 2014 campaign with a strong win over Adelaide to again look in ominous form. After celebrating Jimmy Bartell's 250th in style, the Cats have another reason to lift, with defender Andrew Mackie playing his 200th game. The Cats headed north after making just the one change, George Hall-Smith replacing Jared Rivers.
Now they're away.
Duncan, Enright.
Got the overlap.
Stokes is that overlap.
Good work by Hanley to give Adcock a cover then. He was never going to get there, but to man the mark properly.
Hawkins, I promised you a goal. We might get one now. Just the one goal last week against Adelaide. Had 5 kicks only for the game, so it wasn't a massive game by his standards. Got plenty on that. That's delightful. Down the line to Brown, who rises. Good spot, Green, front and square with the roving. Mays left it behind, close, caught, tried to flick it back to Mays. Got the kick, this might work. Finally, the crowd gets something to roar about. Back into play. They're inspired right now. Zorko outside of the boot. 2 in a row. Lions back in front. Varco over the head, and it'll work. There's plenty of space there. If the Cats can run into it, that'll be a free. Advantage played. Long bomb by Taylor Hart, and that is perfection. And the Cats have a run on here. Johnson back inside 50, dangerous for 3 goals within 60 seconds. Varco has the shot. They don't take long to kill you. And the Cats are going to go to half-time with the momentum. Adcock, good attack. Clean pick to Hanley, shoots it wide. Lewis Taylor, half a handball. Johnson wanted to get it up so they could run. Redden stole it back, goes to Jonathan Brown. Taylor knocks it away, still a chance. Aish had a fantastic first half. Brown to Maloney, tucked up against the boundary. The crowd's back into it. Selwood breaks free of Rich. Kicks to the hot spot. Murdoch got a little finger on it. Still a chance to pounce. Left. Doesn't get any better than that. Duncan, well worked Geelong. Up against the boundary, Kelly. Bartell, good fly. Varco, good crumb. He kept it alive. Murdoch, good poise. Jimmy Bartell bounces it and bounces it through. He's all class, Jimmy. Caddy goes inside 50, wide ball. McIntosh with space ahead of him. Jimmy Bartell, by his standards, very, very kickable.
Easy.
He's been a superstar all his life, Jimmy, and he keeps on keeping on.
Geelong out-muscled and outlasted Brisbane to make it 2 from 2 with a 25-point win. The usual suspects led the way for the victors, with captain Joel Selwood and Steve Johnson continuing their fine early season form. West Coast ventured to Melbourne hoping to continue its hot start to the 2014 season. The Eagles were super impressive in their first up win over Western Bulldogs. Their pressure around the ground and forward line options real features of the win. Brad Shepherd was recalled for the Eagles at the expense of first-year midfielder Dom Sheed. Melbourne kicked just 6 goals against St Kilda in its opening round loss, and with the absence of Mitch Clark, Jesse Hogan and Chris Dawes, will again need to find alternative avenues to goal if it's to challenge an in-form Eagles outfit. The Demons made no changes to the side that went down to the Saints last round.
West Coast in, but no one ahead of the play. Darling can run it. Man needs to come at him. McDonald was slow to come. Now he'll have to go back because Shuey will run into an open goal. How about that? Like a tsunami.
He's been good, Shuey, early, running hard. A couple of bounces. They can't get to him at the moment. Tyson trying to run him down. Marston has to backtrack. Back to Shuey. Back to Rosa. Rosa off a step to full forward. Turlich stood his ground. Couldn't quite. Cripps with the left footer. It looks good. They've got 4. Marston 10 disposals, and he's at 100% efficiency so far today. Selwood's so good in the tight stuff. Here's Shepherd. So he's got his chance because Hearn's got a knee. Good kick by Shepherd to half forward. Sinclair's been impressive. Lacroix, we've talked about him being quiet so far. He's good in this position. He's got it.
Spencer knocks it straight down to Prittis. Not his intention. Picked up by Tyson to Vince. Vince drives it down towards half forward. It's a high ball. Can they make something of this? Pedersen leads back in the race. Burns alongside. Pedersen's got it. Lays it down for Burns, and he kicks a goal.
Prittis looking to get the clearance. Cripps, clever. Cox. Back to Selwood. Back to Marston. Gets the right angle. This could bounce through for a goal. And it does. So Marston's kicked a couple.
Plays it hard. Goes short to Frawley. Picked off by Yeo. On the move is Darling. This will be interesting. You almost fancy himself against McDonald here. Well, they're bearing down his Frawley. Uses Cripps in the middle. Cripps squares the ball to Kennedy. Kennedy can march in and kick a goal. And he does. He's got 4 now.
Certainly a lopsided scoreboard. This percentage is going to be massive, of course, because they've kept Melbourne to such a low number. Bale to Dunn. Dunn at centre wing.
Stays with you the entire season, does it not? That's a brilliant kick. Now Kennedy Harris, the sub, kicks a goal. The story of halftime.
Yeah, the Brownlow votes today would be interesting. It's such a lopsided scoreboard, isn't it? And yet Jones would have to be close, wouldn't he, to the best 3 on the ground, you would think. Yeah. Tim, if you were doing a top 4, would he get in there or not?
Yeah, I'd have him in there.
So Cox, well done. Shuey getting the ball back. And that might be a goal. It is brilliant.
West Coast laid bare the huge task facing Melbourne coach Paul Roos with a 93-point demolition of his troops. Luke Shuey and Nick Natanui starred in the midfield, while Josh Kennedy continued his good form, kicking 4 goals in his 100th game. Coming up, North Melbourne and Western Bulldogs bring an action-packed round 2 to a close. Touted as a top 4 contender during the off-season, North Melbourne failed to live up to expectations in its heavy loss to Essendon in round 1. Priding themselves on contested possession, it's been a tough week on the training track for the Kangaroos. Expect an improved performance here. North made 2 changes, dropping Scott McMahon and Sam Wright, and recalling midfielder Levi Greenwood and debutant Daniel Curry. Western Bulldogs found the pressure applied from West Coast in their opening round clash far too much to handle, and they return home hoping to regain their confidence against the Kangaroos. The form of youngsters such as Jack McRae pleasing for fans. The Bulldogs made 3 changes to the team that lost to the Eagles, with Liam Jones and Lin Jong joining captain Ryan Griffin in the side.
Get full purchase on the kick, but it got outside 50. Goldstein, though, able to rake it up and little pass from Grimer into the 50. Anyone's footy. Del Santo made it his, and with great style and aplomb, he set it up to full forward. It was perfect for Petrie. And North Melbourne with the opening 2 goals of the match. And again, it's Minson and Goldstein, and who jumped early but got the tap anyway. Minson. John gets it to half forward. Jones in the frame. Lovely little flip handball out to Cooney. At his best, he kicked that, and he's got the result. Just.
I would give him a chance again. Maybe halfway through this quarter, Sandy.
And here goes the Kangaroos, and finally he has stood up. Daniel Wells gives it away to Mullet, and the Kangas are off once again. They started on half-back and they drifted into the middle. Poor kick, however, and lands in the arms of Morris. He gives it to another veteran in Boyd. Boyd towards Jones. Could have taken the mark. It doesn't matter. At the back, an opportunity for Stringer. It's under 4.5 minutes remaining. The Dogs deep into attack through Cooney. Minson doesn't fly. He waits down. They've got a couple of players who can kick goals, though, and one of them is Dalhouse. And Dalhouse has done it.
With Goldstein, he's going to drift into the 50. Unencumbered down there, he's set it up. He's asking a bit of Curry to mark it. And it's a bit too hot for Curry. Coming through, Zeeble. Now Adams, the 1, the 2 is a handball. Back it goes. Goldstein saw off the traffic. If you want it with anyone, it's Brent Harvey, and that is why. Clearing. Kick didn't go too far from McDonald, so now it's coming back from Cooney to the square. Dogs looming again. Genuine 2-on-2. Stringer made it. Here's with sheer will. Off to McRae. The 2 youngsters, the future of the Dogs.
It's a 5-point ball game. The Doggies 8-5. Almost 15 minutes played. Final turn.
And a strange old game at Etihad Stadium. And it's mighty tight. Oh, Murphy grubbed it.
He can barely lift his legs, then, John. They've got to get him off.
Oh, and then Brent Harvey is everywhere.
What a quarter.
High ball into the 50. Is there energy for a big mark? Not yet. Curry is going to celebrate his first game of AFL footy with a victory. Petrie feeding it back. Adams, stand start. Oh, unbelievable kick.
Couldn't buy a goal early.
Astounding goal from Lee Adams. And the Roos bounding away to a 29-point lead now.
Champion Brent Harvey booted 3 second-half goals and set up another as the Roos opened their account for 2014. Harvey, Drew Petrie and Daniel Wells were all prominent in attack for North, while it was Luke Dahlhaus and Jake Stringer who sparked the Dogs into action.
Yeah, it feels a little bit better than last week, so it's been a long 9 days for us, but I thought it was a really good, solid effort by the boys. It wasn't easy, we knew it wouldn't be, so it's nice to finally get a win.
To the ladder, and it's the boys from the West who occupy the top 2 spots. Port Adelaide, Hawthorn, Geelong and St Kilda, the only other sides that remain undefeated, while Carlton and Sydney are yet to win a game. St Kilda's Nick Riewoldt leads all-comers in the race for the Coleman medal, but he has a Hawk and 2 Eagles circling the top spot. The blockbusters continue in round 3 with the grand final rematch a feature. A bumper crowd is expected when Collingwood looks to build on its momentum against Geelong. And Carlton and Essendon renew their bitter rivalry with plenty at stake for both sides. In other games, the Crows host the Swans, and Queensland bragging rights are up for grabs between the Suns and the Lions in what promises to be a huge round of football. To keep up with all the ongoing news and analysis throughout the week, log on to afl.com.au or download the AFL Record for iPad. Join us next time for all the round 3 action right here on Toyota AFL Highlights.